We have, as I said, bullish calls today on two semi stocks. Bank of America says AMD is the next $100 billion semi, and Bernstein upgrades Qualcomm to outperform as those shares hit a new record high today. Steph, you own AMD.
Yes, I do. I got a little lucky, bought it before the quarter, added to it after the quarter, though, too. They have a cost and performance advantage to Intel they have for several years. It's even going to get better for them because Intel's having a lot of struggles with getting the 7-nanometer out the door, and they actually pushed it out 12 months. This was when they reported earnings a week and a half ago. And so I think that the momentum is going to continue for AMD. They have great end markets in terms of gaming, and the Xbox is going to only help that in the second half of this year. They have data center exposure as well. They just raised their growth rate from 25% to 35%. In this kind of environment, this is the kind of stock that I want. It seems defensible to me, especially with their number one competitor going by the wayside in the short term.
Doc, I don't see AMD on your list. I don't see Qualcomm on your list. I see calls in Lam, in Micron, and in Taiwan Semi.
Yeah, you're rubbing it in, Scott. I wish I would have listened to both Steve Weiss and myself and to Steph and purchased Qualcomm and AMD.
And Jimmy Lebenthal. He deserves credit. I give him so much grief over some of the other things like Intel. He deserves credit on Qualcomm.
Oh, yes, he does. Because 5G is going to be huge, Scott. And yeah, I've traded in and out of some of the tower companies and things like that, but I don't have, absent Apple, I don't have enough exposure to 5G, and I really wanted it, but I just got distracted, Scott, and unfortunately, Qualcomm, I'd love to have it. Same thing with AMD, so I'm jealous of Steph. But you know, that's what makes a market. I'll get a chance again, I'm sure. Probably not on dips, though. I'll just have to step up and take one.
Yeah. Megan, as we said at the top, you're underweight U.S. stocks. However, you like the chips?
Yeah, no, we have a slight underweight to our benchmark to U.S. large cap, but technology and chips we still see as a driver for the market. I do think that there's probably a little bit of pull forward that we've seen in terms of demand amidst the pandemic. Longer term, these big grower stocks really need to see quite a bit of consistent free cash flow generation to sustain the valuation that they are trading at these levels. But longer term, 5G and the upcycle there is going to be a huge driver. The chip content in autos and auto demand has been improving. It is a long-term, more attractive story, but clearly you're paying up a little bit for that.
Joe, do you not own any chip stocks? And if not, why? I don't have you on my list for any of these names.
Nothing escapes you, does it? I thought I was going to get out of this conversation without you coming to me, but no.
Nope.
Scott, I sold the SMH about 119 back in October or November. So, you know, when I look at the absence of holdings that I have in semis and understand that I used to trade them so frequently in 18 and 19 and talk about them with Pete and Stephen Weiss, it's an awful performance by me not to have the exposure. I have the IEMG, which is an emerging market ETF. Taiwan Semi obviously is the biggest holding there, but I think Steph's in the right place as it relates to AMD. AMD has had sales over the last 4 quarters of nearly 40%. That's in line with what you're going to get from NVIDIA. In fact, over the last 4 quarters, they've actually had a better sales growth story than NVIDIA. On the semi-equipment side, Teradyne. I used to talk to you about that stock all the time. That stock's trading up around 90. Stephen Weiss has done a good job of talking about that one. That's a stock that I think will go above 100, but unfortunately, I don't own it. Brutal job on my part.
No, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just curious as to what it would...
No! You know, wait a second, Scott. You have every right to give me a hard time on this one because it's not as if we're talking about a component of the market that I don't visit. This is something that in 2019 I talked about frequently. I talked about trading around the SMH. And to completely miss a move from 120 to 165 in the SMH, that's not good. Let's call it what it is. That's poor performance.
All right. You're horrible. What else do you want me to say? It's a terrible move.
No, I'm not. I'm not horrible, but as it relates to that, that's pretty bad.
Just garbage.
I do some good things.
You do, but I mean, if you want to continue to beat yourself up on live television, be my guest.
Hey, on semis, on semis, I should absolutely. If you're going to talk that much about it in 2019,
Yep.
and then when you actually get the performance, you don't own it, come on.
All right.
There's no credibility in not accepting the embarrassment for that one.
Understood. All right, Joe. Thank you for that.